Hey there, homeschooling families. Welcome back to Homeschool for the Whole Family, where history, culture, and education come alive for kids and parents alike. I'm an education specialist and also a father of a large homeschooling family with over 15 years of homeschooling experience. Today, we're setting sail on a voyage of discovery with one of history's most famous and often controversial explorers, Christopher Columbus. Was Columbus really the brave explorer who discovered America, or is there more to the story? Get ready to dive deep into his life, his famous voyages, and the impact that he had on the world, both good and bad. So gather around, grab your globes, and let's embark on this exciting journey together. First off, who was Christopher Columbus? Well, Columbus was born in 1451 in Genoa, Italy, a bustling port city known for its sailors and merchants. From a young age, Columbus was fascinated by the sea, and as he grew older, he became a skilled navigator and mariner. But Columbus wasn't just interested in sailing, he had big dreams. You see, during the 15th century, European nations were eager to find new trade routes to Asia. Spices, silk, and gold were in high demand, and the traditional overland routes were long and dangerous. Columbus had a bold idea. What if he could reach Asia by sailing west across the Atlantic Ocean? Most people at the time believed that the world was round, but they had no idea just how big the Earth really was. Columbus, however, was convinced that he could reach Asia by heading west. All he needed was someone to finance his expedition. After years of trying to convince various European monarchs to fund his journey, Columbus finally struck a deal with King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain in 1492. They agreed to finance his expedition in exchange for a share of the profits from the lands that he might discover. On August 3, 1492, Columbus set sail from Spain with 3 ships, the Niña, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. The journey was long and treacherous, and the crew grew increasingly anxious as the days passed without sight of land. But Columbus remained determined. Finally, on October 12, 1492, after more than 2 months at sea, land was spotted. Columbus and his crew had reached an island in the Bahamas, which he named San Salvador. Although Columbus believed that he had found a new route to Asia, he had actually landed in what we now know as the Caribbean. When Columbus and his crew stepped onto the island, they encountered the Taino people, who were the indigenous inhabitants of the Caribbean. Columbus described them as friendly and generous, and he was amazed by the beauty of the land. But here is where the story takes a darker turn. Columbus was not only interested in exploration, he was also interested in wealth and power. He saw the indigenous people as potential servants and was quick to claim the land for Spain. This marked the beginning of a long and tragic period of colonization and exploitation of the indigenous peoples of the Americas. Columbus made a total of 4 voyages to the New World, exploring parts of the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. Each time, he returned to Spain with stories of the land that he had found, though he never realized that he had actually discovered a new continent. Columbus's voyages were a turning point in history. They opened the door to the age of exploration, leading to the widespread European colonization of the Americas. But Columbus's legacy is complex and controversial. On one hand, Columbus is often celebrated for his bravery and determination to explore the unknown. His voyages helped to bridge the gap between the Old World and the New World, leading to the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures, a period known as the Columbian Exchange. But on the other hand, Columbus's expeditions also marked the beginning of centuries of oppression, disease, and exploitation of the indigenous peoples of the Americas. Entire civilizations were destroyed, and millions of native people suffered as a result of European colonization. Because of Columbus's complex legacy, the way we remember him has changed over time. In the United States, Columbus Day has been celebrated as a national holiday since 1937, honoring Columbus's contributions to history. However, In recent years, there has been a growing movement to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day instead, to honor the rich cultures and histories of the Native American peoples who were here long before Columbus arrived. Whether we celebrate Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, or both, it's important to learn and understand the full story of Columbus and the impact of his voyages. History is complex, and it's our job to remember and reflect on all sides of the story. So what do you think? Was Christopher Columbus a hero, a villain, or something in between? His story reminds us that history is full of nuance, and it's important to explore different perspectives to get a fuller picture. As we wrap up today's episode, I encourage you to think about how Columbus's story has shaped our world and what we can learn from it. And as always, if you enjoyed this deep dive into history, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Homeschool for the Whole Family, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thanks for joining me on this journey, and remember, history is more than just dates and facts. It's about the stories of people who shape the world that we live in today. So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning, because the adventure never ends. I'll see you in the next video.